All right. Hello, everyone. Today in this video, we will see how to integrate ServiceNow with Microsoft Teams. I have an use case. The use case is like this. So we will be integrating ServiceNow with Microsoft Teams, and we automate to greet the birthday employees, like whoever's birthday is today. So we have a field in our user table, so we will match the date of birth of every employee, and we'll collect the users whoever's matches the birthday by today's date, and we will greet them automatically in the Microsoft Teams channel. So let's begin. So first of all, to integrate, so two things are very important since we are trying to integrate with Microsoft Teams. So we will see we have a plugin which I will search here called Microsoft Teams, and that plugin needs to be installed. So the plugin is Microsoft Teams Spoke for ServiceNow integration. So I already installed this application, so you can install it, and once you have it ready with you, now you can start your integrating your application. So first you will navigate to Flow Designer, and you will create a new flow. I'll give the name as ServiceNow birthday wishes. Okay, and I will leave everything as it is, and I'll say submit. This will create a flow for me. So since we are automating this, so this needs to trigger based on a schedule, like on a daily basis. I will try to set up at, let's go with 12 o'clock itself. So every 12 o'clock, this automatically this flow will trigger, and this will do the action whatever we are providing here. So I'll say done. So now for very first step is you need to make sure you have an action, the Microsoft Teams. So once we install that plugin, so you will see a Microsoft Teams action spoke available, and you have out of the box four webhooks, a post, a message, which is the one which you are going to look at for today. So first we'll communicate, and then we will make it possible by automating that. So for communicating, the very important step is we need to have a webhook URL of our Teams channel. So I will open my Teams, and I'll so first of all, if you already have any of the channel to which you want to set it a webhook channel, you can simply go to apps and search for webhooks, and you install it. So for now, what we'll do is we'll create a new channel, and we will try to have it a webhook channel for that. So I'll click on it, and I'll say add channel. So I'll give the channel name as ServiceNow birthday wishes. I will say birthday, yeah, ServiceNow birthday, and I'll say add. And once we have a channel ready, so I'll go to apps, and I'll go to uh, search for webhooks, and I click on incoming webhook, and I'll say add to team, and it asks me the name. First I need to select my channel here. The channel created was ServiceNow birthday. I'll select a channel here. I'll click on set up a connector. So it will generate a connector between you for this particular channel. Okay, let me click on the new window, and I will give the name for this ServiceNow birthday, and I'll go with the same image. So we have an option to upload a new image as well, or if not, you can go with the default image as well. So I'll go with the default image. I'll say create. This will generate a webhook URL for you, and it will give it to you. So if you see here, I got a webhook URL. So I'll copy this, and I'll keep it handy at some place. I'll open my notepad, I'll keep it here, and now I'll close it. So this is done. So we have our in webhook URL ready with us. Now I'll go back, I will paste the webhook URL here, and I will just give some Title for this first, let's give it as validating teams spoke. I'll go with the message as hello world, and let me save it, and let's see if we able to connect our teams, and do we see whether a message is posting on the teams channel or not. So I'll quickly test it. I will say run test, and if we have done it correctly, this should post a message in your teams channel. So let me cancel, go back. If you see now, we got our message, the title which we provided and the message which we provided. So which means our connector is correctly working now. Then I will delete this post message. Now let's try to do it for our use case. For our use case, first of all, we need to get the values of the users whose birthday is today. So first of all, I'll go to my users table, and let me get the date of birth field. So I have a date of birth field. That's a custom field which I've created. So I'll filter out the empty one. So I have three date of birth fields, right? So I have three records whose date of birth is today. So what I'll do, since today is 7/5, so the date of birth is very interesting part. The reason is you no need to worry about the year. You should be looking out the date and the month itself, right? So I have three date of birth fields which are filled, one for Paul, Julia, and Alisa. So all the three has July 5th as a birthday. The year is differ here. So now I'll go to my flow designer. So first of all, I need to retrieve those records. So since I have multiple records, I'll go with an action called lookup records here. So I'll go with, make sure you're going with lookup records, not a lookup record. The difference is lookup records will get you multiple records, right? To post it in the next upcoming steps. So I'll select my table as user table. I will select a user table. The condition, we cannot do it directly. The reason is, as we all see, that comes only with the entire thing, right? Like it matches with your year, date, and month. So in this place, we need to write a script here, since we do not have a direct option of matching the date and month of your date of birth field with your current date and month, right? So this time I'll go with this toggle scripting, where I can write my custom script. So here, if you see here, the system tells you to get the current value, you have to use fd underscore data, which is an object provided by ServiceNow, and this is a syntax to get the short description, right? So we're going to use this, and if you want to pass it as encoded query, so this is how you need to generate it, and you have to return this encoded query. So I will remove this now, and I'll start writing my script. So as we all know, the first steps is we want to get uh, first of all, we want to get the current date and the current month of today's. So I'll say current date, let's say date, and I will use glide date time object here, and I'll try to get day of, sorry, get day of month local time. I'll make sure I'll write it as local time. The reason is it won't get you the right day, right? So it won't confuse you if you have any multiple time zones. So the output basically we will expect is, since we are doing it for date, so date in my current calendar, today's date is 5th of July, so I'll get a return result as 5 here, right? And I will get the similar thing for current month as well. I will use new glide date time and this time I'll use a method called get month, right? So this should give me the result as July, which will be again into the integers. So you should get it as 07. So I now I get the current date and the current month of today's. And once you have it, then probably you will go to your sys user table, new glide record of your user table, and then you will say if you want to go with the only active users, so you will use active comma true, and then you will say query this. And since we may have more than one record, so I'll go with while loop here. I will say if you get any records, go inside and do the job, right? And I'll make sure I have an array defined here to save my return results into an array. So now I'll start getting this. So very first step, make sure you we can do this. Let me get the current date and time of, so I'll say sys user dot get value of my, let me go to that field and I'll get the name of the field. I will right click, say show. I'll copy the field name, which is u underscore date of birth, and I will paste it here. So I'll get a date here. So the expected result should be something like this. So since I'm using glade date time, so I'll get an expected result as 0000 something like this, right? So we'll get the return result of date of birth, and we'll have a check here, say that if the date of birth has some value, then go inside, right? So I'll go inside, and now I'll try to get my user's date and user month. So first I'll say user date. Now I already created a variable which I'm getting it. So I'll use get day of month in UTC. So the reason UTC is again to make sure you're getting a proper universal time zone. Not to worry about if you have multiple time zones here. So I'll get the user's date from date of birth. So the expected result should be based on this date. It should be 5th, right? And I will get the user's month as well here, DOB, and I will use get month. And this should give me the same result, user month from date of birth, and the expected result should be 07 based on the given input, right? So once we have the user date and month, so I'll have additional check here which will try to push your data. So I will match the date first, user date, which should be equal to the current date, right? And I'll have additional and to make sure, since I need to match both the things, not only date, so I'll user month should be equal to current month. If both matches, then I will push in my array. I will use sys user dot get unique value, which will give me the current sys ID of that particular user, right? So this is done. So once you are done here, so I'll come out and I can return the object, right? So I will make sure Okay, this is there. So I'll come out and I'll say return. And what I need to build an encoded query as shown in the very first default template provided by ServiceNow. So I'll, since I'm getting the sys IDs here, let me write it here, get the sys ID of the current user. So I'm getting the sys IDs. So I'll try to build a query that have the sys IDs, and sys ID I'll use in here. In is basically used when we try to get is one off in from our breadcrumbs. So I'm using in here. So and the next is I have my sys IDs which will be comma separated, which will be get from my array. So this is done. So let me copy this to make sure uh, it doesn't save. Sometimes I'll say done, and if I open it, so I will click on this, which will automatically apply. Okay, so yes, now it says the condition has been applied with scripted. So I don't need to worry about this. I'm not going with any order by or maximum results. And if you don't want to loop it, right? So anyhow, we wouldn't see a more than 1,000. So if you have many, you can go with max results. So I will leave it like that, and I'll say done. And once you're done with your lookup records, if you get the lookup records results, then you will start doing flow logic, and you will say for each here, since you have more than one, and you will get the, at the right hand side you see the data pill. We got the user records now, which we retrieved from that particular result. So I can drag and drop something like this, or I can click on this data pillar and I'll say lookup records, and I'll select user records, right? So I'll get a user records here. Now you need to make sure you're going inside this if loop. Since we are in a for each, I'll click on this add action, and I will say if condition, if I have a count. So I get a count as well from the lookup records. I will drag and drop from here. If count is greater than 0, right? So at least I have one record. I will go inside, and now I'll say post a message. I'll go to Microsoft Teams. I'll say post a message, and I need to give the webhook URL, which I already have it here. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. The title I'll give birthday birthday wishes from. So you can give your team, your company name. So I'll just give ServiceNow here, and have, I'll give a message, happy birthday. Now you can get the name of the particular user, right? So happy birthday. uh, I will add a data pill. So we got this user records, and I will try to grab the name of that particular user, and I'll paste it here, right? So I'll give the name. So I'll add it like this. So I'm just sending a message, happy birthday for the particular user. So I'll say done. I'll save it, and let's see if we test it. So as per the result, we have three records, and let's see if we can get that three birthdays now. So I'll test it. I'll say run test. So this we are testing. So basically it should work on a daily basis. Once we publish this flow every day 12 o'clock, this flow will run, right? So since we are just to make sure, and you have this executed, you can see if we have any errors, so it will display you here. So if you see we have everything completed, which means it is done successfully. If I go to my Teams channel, so you see now we got three messages: happy birthday Paul, and his full name, and happy birthday Alisa, and happy birthday Julia, right? So just to make sure if this is working correctly, what I will do, I will change the date of date for two users, and I'll have only one user now. Let's say this user's birthday is 6th. Okay, and this user birthday is something like 17. So now, as per today's date, so only Paul Martin is been, whose name is Paul Martin, IT project manager. The expected result should be only one now. I will run a test once again, run, and I'll go to my Teams channel. So you should see a message. This time you should see only Paul Martin there. Yep. So is it okay? So perfect. So we got only one result now this time because we it only matches only one record. So this is a small video. So how to automate the birthday wishes by using an out of the box Microsoft Teams. So thank you so much for watching. So stay tuned. I will be making more videos in the upcoming days, and this time I will go with building a custom spokes. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.